Have you ever heard of a cow that lives at an altitude of over 4,000 meters, can withstand cold temperatures below -40 degrees Celsius, and breathes easily in the thin air of the Himalayas? That is the yak, a survival machine in the harsh, natural environment, an animal that has been associated with the nomadic life of Tibet for thousands of years. Not only is it special in its extraordinary adaptability, the yak is also a comprehensive source of life. From milk, meat, to fur, skin, and even dung for burning. But what makes this animal become a legend in the land it inhabits? Nestled among the majestic mountains of Tibet and the Himalayas, the yak stands as a living symbol of the wild and harsh nature. With its thick fur like an eternal winter cloak, powerful curved horns, and massive stature, the yak is not only a strange creature, but also a testament to the extraordinary ability to survive on the roof of the world. For thousands of years, this special cow has been closely associated with the lives of the people in the highlands, providing food, materials, and cultural beliefs. Yak is not just an animal, but a living legend in the vastness of nature. Deep black eyes hidden behind thick fur exude a calm but alert look. With a large, stocky body and sturdy hooves, the yak embodies the strength, endurance, and mysterious beauty of the wild, snowy land. People often graze them naturally in a nomadic way, letting yaks forage for grass, moss, and wild plants. They are very strong, cold-resistant, and disease-free. In winter, farmers often store hay to supplement. Yaks live in herds, need large spaces and clean water sources. Regular health monitoring helps ensure the stable and sustainable development of the yak herd. Males begin to compete, displaying strength to attract females by roaring, rubbing horns, and fighting. Yaks usually enter their breeding season in the summer, from July to September, when the climate is more temperate. After mating, female yaks are pregnant for about 8 months and usually give birth to only one calf per litter in the spring of the following year, when the grass begins to grow again, making it easier to raise the calf. Milking a yak is a daily task, usually in the early morning and late afternoon, when the cow has partially lactated and her udders are softer. The herder milks the cow directly by hand, while gently holding the calf close to stimulate the mother yak to produce milk. Yak milk is not as abundant as that of a regular dairy cow, but it is very nutritious, fatty, and fragrant. The process of making cheese from yak milk in the highlands is often done entirely by hand, with rudimentary tools associated with nomadic life and harsh climates. After milking, the milk is gently warmed in a large pot. Then natural yeast, from young animal stomachs or sour water is added to stimulate coagulation. The mixture is stirred and left to stand for several hours until it forms a curd. Once the milk has curdled, the worker will use a bamboo or wooden knife to cut the curd into small pieces to separate the serum, or milk water. The mixture is then poured into a thick cloth bag or bamboo basket and left to drain for many hours, sometimes up to a day, to squeeze out all the water. In addition to milk for cheese, yaks are also used as draft animals, transporting goods through steep and dangerous mountain passes thanks to their strong health and sturdy legs. They help people in the highlands move and live conveniently in harsh terrain and climate conditions. During the cold winter, yaks are often kept indoors or in closed barns to avoid cold winds and keep them warm, helping them maintain their health and milk production in harsh conditions. Thanks to their thick and long fur, Highland people use yak hair to weave clothes, blankets, and traditional handicrafts, keeping them warm and durable in the cold climate. Do you find the yak, with its extraordinary strength and important role in Highland life, interesting and special? Look, those strong teeth are being shredded by the pliers. It sounds strange, but that's what adult pufferfish are forced to go through. So why do they always have to cut the teeth of the pufferfish? Why is such a small, cute, and funny fish a dish that makes others wary? All the secrets about this strange and contradictory fish will be revealed right in the video. Young pufferfish are usually raised in a controlled environment before being released into the ocean to develop naturally. Raising young pufferfish indoors ensures that they have good living conditions, are well fed, and grow healthily. In addition, during this period, the fish will be carefully cared for so that they can adapt to the marine environment when released. After reaching the appropriate size and health, the baby pufferfish will be released to the sea, where they can live freely, hunt, and grind their teeth naturally, developing according to their wild instincts. In addition, raising them indoors also helps control the water environment, temperature, and other factors, ensuring that the fish are not infected or stressed. Pufferfish are provided with a nutritious diet such as snails, shrimp, and bloodworms, helping them to grind their teeth naturally and develop their bodies. In captivity, if there is no suitable food to grind the teeth, the breeder must periodically trim the pufferfish's teeth, helping them to eat normally and maintain their health. Every day, workers at the pufferfish farm feed the fish at regular times. They carefully check the amount of food, choosing the right type for each stage of the fish's development. From live food, such as shrimp and small snails, to frozen food or pellets. They don't just feed them. They also observe their behavior, checking to see if they are eating well and if they show signs of fatigue or illness. Adult pufferfish can eat specialized dry pellets, but they generally prefer live food. Protein-rich pellets can supplement the diet, but should not completely replace natural foods such as shrimp, crab, and snails. Once pufferfish are of sufficient weight, they are carefully transported to large restaurants. Pufferfish are usually transported in water tanks with filtration and oxygen systems to sustain life during the long journey. Because pufferfish are sensitive to the environment, the transportation process must be done quickly and carefully, avoiding stress or injury to the fish. This dish is known to be dangerous because pufferfish can contain deadly toxins if not prepared properly. Therefore, only chefs with special certificates are allowed to prepare pufferfish, ensuring the safety of diners. One of the most expensive crabs in the world, the red crab. With its sweet flavor, firm meat, and high economic value, the red crab is not only a beloved delicacy, but also a highly sought-after product globally. Join us as we explore the harvesting, processing, and preservation process that keeps this crab's freshness intact in today's video. Atlantic red crab fishing is a specialized fishery activity that takes place in deep offshore waters, where fishermen must contend with rough seas and harsh conditions to harvest this high-value species. The most common method used is bottom trapping, which involves sturdy, box-shaped traps baited with fresh fish or squid to attract the crabs. After about 1 to 2 days, the fishermen return to retrieve the traps. Once hauled up, the crabs caught inside are quickly picked out, roughly sorted, and transferred to a chilled hold below deck, where they are stored in cool, well-ventilated conditions to keep them alive and fresh until the boat reaches shore. After all the traps have been hauled up and the crabs fully collected, the fishing vessel begins its journey back to the temporary receiving station. The travel time can range from a few hours to over a day, depending on the fishing location and weather conditions at sea. When the vessel arrives at the port, the crab unloading process begins. Each crate of crabs stored in the hold is lifted using cranes, pulleys, or manually in the case of smaller boats. Workers carefully transfer the crabs from the hold to the deck, avoiding sudden shaking or impact, as the crabs are highly prone to broken claws or death from sudden temperature changes. The crabs are carefully placed into specialized plastic containers, typically designed with ventilation holes and insulated walls. Inside the containers, ice or cooling gel is used to maintain a stable temperature between 0 and 4 degrees Celsius, the ideal range for preserving crabs without causing them to die from cold shock. Red crabs are primarily used for their meat. After being transported to the factory, the crabs undergo a thorough quality check and sorting process. Next, the crabs are quickly cooled and boiled to preserve their fresh, natural flavor. Once cooled, the meat is carefully extracted, and the shells and unnecessary parts are discarded. The crab meat is then cleaned, meticulously prepared, and packaged, ready for distribution or export. In addition to being processed for meat, red crabs are also frozen whole to meet the diverse needs of customers, making them easier to transport and store for long periods. One of the popular preparation methods is steaming the crabs, which helps retain their natural flavor and the quality of the meat. In recent years, the use of harvesting robots has become a major trend in high-tech agriculture. Since each type of fruit has its unique characteristics, robots must be specifically designed and programmed to ensure efficient harvesting while minimizing damage to the produce. Let's explore how technology is transforming the fruit harvesting process. For strawberries, the biggest challenge is that the fruit is soft, easily bruised, and grows close to the ground under dense foliage. Harvesting robots like Rubion from Octinion, Belgium, use soft, flexible arms combined with 3D cameras and AI to detect ripeness, precisely locate the fruit, and gently pick it, mimicking the movement of a human hand. This ensures fast harvesting while maintaining fruit quality. Robots must handle the fruit delicately for tomatoes and cherry tomatoes because the thin skin can crack easily. Tomatoes often grow in clusters with uneven ripeness, so robots need to analyze color to select the right fruits accurately. Soft grippers or gentle vacuum suction are used to pick the fruits. For apples, although the fruit is firmer, it clings tightly to the branch, requiring robots to apply enough suction to grip the apple, while also gently twisting to separate it without breaking the branch or scratching the surface. 3D camera systems help identify apples that have reached optimal ripeness. Cucumber harvesting demands particular skill, as cucumbers grow entangled in dense vines, have a long shape, and can easily bend or break. Robots use AI-powered cameras to identify fruits of the right size and ripeness, and long, flexible mechanical arms maneuver through the foliage to reach them. For kiwis, harvesting is challenging because their fuzzy skin is easily scratched. Robots must be equipped with highly sensitive force sensors to control the gripping pressure. Since kiwis often grow in clusters, AI systems must also be able to differentiate between ripe and unripe fruits to avoid picking immature ones. Grape harvesting requires a different strategy. Instead of picking individual berries, robots typically cut entire bunches to prevent fruit from dropping. Color image analysis systems help determine when a bunch has reached optimal ripeness. Special cutting tools are designed to make quick, clean cuts without damaging the stem. For bell peppers, the fruits have irregular shapes, varying sizes, and different colors: green, red, yellow. And they are often hidden under dense foliage. Harvesting robots need to quickly analyze color, while the robotic arm must adjust its approach angle and gripping force to avoid bruising the pepper's delicate skins.